single. They've done enough. It's the Eagles. Vitality Blast 2019 Champions.
There's been a lot of talk about Gooch's era, Fletcher's era. Now we've won Division 1, we can say that, you know, we're actually starting to build our own era.
And that is the moment they have decided to shake hands. And the county championship is on its way back to Chelmsford.
We're live from the Cloudfm County Ground here in Chelmsford for the Essex Eagles versus the Sussex Sharks. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to Chelmsford as the Eagles look to level the ledger on this early campaign in the Vitality Blast for 2021. It's been an interesting start, a good start at Taunton, but then of course disappointment against Hampshire and against Glamorgan recently. Up against the Sussex Sharks, who have come out of the blocks absolutely firing and looking to keep that momentum, of course, on the road this week. Well, let's have a look and see who has won the toss. So it's the Eagles that are going to bat. Sussex Sharks can have a bowl. Luke Wright, great to see you back, mate. How's the hand?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, you get to that point where you just want to play, so I've had the stitches out and hopefully it stays together okay.
And the toss, you won it. You're going to put the Eagles in. What's your thinking?
We've been batting well, chasing. Obviously, it's not the biggest of grounds here, although actually it's a lot more central than it's probably been in other times. But it looks a good wicket and hopefully we'll keep them to a decent total first up.
Team news for the Sharks?
Just myself in for Aaron Thomason, other than that, as we were for the other games.
Not wishing to put any pressure on you getting off the mark or anything, but you do know 2 runs takes you to 8,000 runs in all domestic T20. Is that in your head at all?
Not really. To be honest, I've never been worried about personal milestones. If it comes tonight, then great. Hopefully a few more. But if it doesn't, obviously still got a bit of time left to get there. But yeah, it's obviously a nice milestone. But hopefully there's more in the tank yet.
Well, I hope there's plenty more in the tank for you. Have a good evening. Thanks,
Thank you
Luke.
very much. Thanks.
I'll ask Simon Harmer if he'll come and join us. Si, going to have a bat first. What's your thinking on the pitch?
Yeah, we played on it. It's obviously the same wicket from last week. It was a lot slower than we anticipated, so we were going to bat anyway. Try and get first use of it because we think it's going to sort of get slower as the game goes on. Whether that happens or not, we're going to have to wait and see.
What's the team news for you tonight?
Ryan Tenderscott is fit again, so he comes back in for Rose Cushy. Otherwise, we are unchanged. A lot of talk on social media, so hopefully our batting unit can shut everybody up.
Yeah, there's plenty of messages to be sent out. What's your main message as captain to your team in order to get that tick in the win box tonight?
I think our biggest thing is taking wickets in the first 6. We got 3 in the first 6 against Somerset and only 1 in the next 2 games against Glamorgan and Hampshire. So I think setting the game up, that's massive for us. And I think with the batting unit is just getting somebody over 50, 60. A lot of the guys are getting in, playing well, but then getting out in 20s and 30s. So yeah, I think those are the 2 big areas for us to look to improve on. And I firmly believe that if we can get that right and we can build a little bit of momentum, yeah, we'll get the wins on the board.
Excellent. Well, wishing you all the best tonight, Simon. Thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
Well, it means that Will Battleman is once again going to be part of this Essex Eagles 11. And earlier on, I had a chat with a young wicketkeeper. Well, Will, great to see you, and great to see you actually in the T20 side. You waited a long time for this debut. Have there been any surprises to you? I know you've played a lot of second team T20. How does the first team rank?
Well, yeah, obviously it's a little bit different. Obviously having crowds back and the home noise, not really being used to that so far in my career. So that's obviously really good to have the fans there. And the adrenaline, obviously when you bat and you keep, it's a lot more. And kind of if you use that adrenaline right, kind of you can use it in the right way. And I've kind of enjoyed that. Had a nice knock at Glamorgan last week. Yeah, and it was nice to kind of get a score. Would have been nice to got more, but I'll take it.
How much did it help the fact when you made your debut against Hampshire last Friday, the Monday before, you'd already hit a century off them in that second team game? Did that settle you in a bit?
Yeah, it was on my mind. Kind of was a similar attack, a few of the bowlers. Obviously didn't face many balls, but I think they had a few plans in mind after I played them. But yeah, it obviously helped my confidence, but it's a new game and would have been nice to replicate what happened the week before.
You've been around this group for a couple of years now, so you feel part of the team.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's obviously a great team. Friends with a lot of the players. Kind of spend a lot of time with them, so it's nice to finally get a run of games in the first team, and hopefully I can put in some performances to help my case.
We go against Sussex this evening on the back of 2 losses. It's early days, of course, in this campaign, but it's necessary now when you've got 2 back-to-back games to get a tick in the win box and make sure you don't let them get away.
Yeah. 2020 cricket's about momentum, so hopefully we get a win tonight and then we can get a run of games with wins and kind of get up the table.
And momentum.
Yeah, momentum's a key word in 2020 cricket, I think. If we get that, I think we'll get some wins on the board.
Well, great to see you in the top ranks and good to see you progressing that batting and the wicket keeping, and good luck for this evening. Thanks, Will.
Very much. Thank you.
Well, welcome back to the Cloudfm County Ground, joined by Essex and England legend, Mr. Graham Goots. Graham, we just heard from Will Buttleman there. Seems to the manner born, doesn't he? So important to get these youngsters blooded in this tournament.
Yeah, you always want to see a good mixture of youth and experience in your side, and with Butterman, Walter, Pepper, along with experienced players, Wesley and Tender Scarter, that's a good mix. So he needs to learn off those players. He got a bit of a score in the last match, and I'm sure he's going to be a big contributor for Essex cricket and the Essex Eagles in years to come. So the more games he gets under his belt, the more experience he gains from playing with senior players, the better for him. He's a good cricketer, one that is keen to learn. I know that with his wicket keeping and his batting. He showed well in the second team with the 100 against Hampshire the other week. So the more games he gets, hopefully the better he'll get for the Eagles. Simon Harmer said during that interview, that chat that I had with him, critical that there's at least one batsman gets a 50, 60 or 70, and we've only seen Jimmy Neesham, I think, that's gone past half a century thus far. The return of the experience of Tendo, Jimmy Neesham in there as well, those guys have got to come off. Tom Wesley, another one of those three you would think has got to get a big score. Absolutely. Look, in all forms of cricket, there is match-winning performances which define a match. And with the bat in T20 cricket, you've really got to be looking for a score range between 50 and 100. In Test match cricket, I said last week in the game against Hampshire Hawks that Test match cricket, you're looking for big hundreds, 150, 200. They influence matches, maybe in 50 over cricket, 100. In these games, you don't see too many hundreds in 20 over cricket because maybe the openers would get the opportunity to get that, but you need those scores. I would say not just one score between 50 and 100, two scores. If you get two scores between a 50 and 100 in your batting lineup, there's a fair chance with the batsman the other end chipping in with their 15s, 20s and everything, you're going to be getting close to 200, especially on a ground like the Cloudfm County Ground, where short boundaries, fast outfield, good conditions for batting. That's what you need. So these guys, when they get in, 20, 30, 40 is not enough. Not unless you're coming in right at the end and the slog's on. You've got to go on and make a telling contribution.
And the flip side of that coin is, of course, taking wickets as quickly as you can, particularly in that power play. Again, Simon said we've got to take more than one wicket in the power play. Now, you know what Simon Harmer's about. We've seen Sam Cook, I think he's taken 6 for already. Jack Plom, Aaron Nijar as well. Somebody has got to really strike early.
Yeah, I mean, you need bowlers with variation. You need the bowlers to be able to read the batsman, try and knock a few people out over in that first 6 overs when the opposition come at you hard. We saw it again last week in the game. The Eagles did very well. Sam Cook, you know, he ended up with, I think, 4 overs, 2 for 20 odd, yep, which is magnificent bowling in T20 cricket. But you've got to knock people over. So you've got to use your experience, you've got to use your variation to keep the batsman guessing, because it's a fast game, it's an aggressive game. The modern player talks about strike rate. That's what they talk about. They don't talk about averages now. They talk about what is your strike rate. And one of the reasons they're so keen on strike rate is because they get noticed on television. They get noticed of what your strike rate is. So they could potentially be putting themselves out there for franchise cricket. Let's be honest.
And it's a big market.
This is what it is now. There's franchise tournaments all around the world, and that's important. Well, strike rate's great, but you've got to go on and make a telling contribution, and the same with wickets. You know, I said last week, the most expensive players in the IPL are the ones who take wickets. They bat a bit down the order maybe, but they can bowl people out with good Yorkers, good bumpers, good slower balls, all those things. So these are the ingredients you need to be a top T20 player. But above all, and I'd like to make this comment, is that, you know, in any form of cricket, but especially this, where it's a fast-moving game, you can get caught up in the emotion and the moment. You've got to have a cool head on you. You've got to have composure to be able to deliver that skill under pressure. And that's an important ingredient. You know, you've got to know what option to take at what time, so you can compose an innings. Even in this short form game, that's very important.
Well, we'll see who's got what it takes coming up now. Join us after this ad break as we find the inside story, should we say, from the Eagles head coach Anthony McGrath. So, a quarter of an hour to go until the first bowl in this Vitality Blast contest between the Essex Eagles and Sussex Sharks. I earlier found Anthony McGrath, the Eagles head coach, and had a chat to see what he thought about those first 3 games. Well, Mags, very early days in this campaign, no panic in the camp, but what are the key learnings to take from those previous 3 games into game number 4 if you're going to get that win in the tick box, that tick in the win box?
Well, more of the same from Somerset. I thought it was an excellent performance probably after the first 3 overs. And then probably the most disappointing was Hampshire on Friday night, so we were in control of that game pretty much throughout. Probably got a few more than we would like, but certainly we're cruising the game 6.5 and over, and they're the games you've really got to win, and I think that's just making smart decisions at the right time. T20 is all about momentum, not giving the momentum back to the opposition, which we did. And on Sunday, which can happen, we were probably, not at the races really. So a very mixed bag in the first 3, which can happen in T20, but some good signs. I think certainly from the first 2 games, we just got to really win them crucial 5-6 overs, which can make all the difference.
Some good signs, particularly from the youngsters coming in. Feroz getting his debut, Will getting his debut as well. But you could do with some experience back in the ranks. Dan Lawrence, do you know when you're going to be able to pick him?
Yeah, Dan's going to be available Friday. Hopefully weeks won't be too long with his injury. We'll see how Tendo is today. But yeah, when you lose them kind of players, it's obviously going to be a huge blow to the team. But having said that, I thought, you mentioned Will Butterman there, he's come in. Michael Pepper, who's not played much for us, Cushy. You're talking about guys who've played under 5 games, so it's going to make a difference. But I think the great thing, they showed that they can do it at this level. They've no scars, got ultimate belief, and I think it'll do a world of good for their confidence. And what we want from the previous few games is them guys really learning as well. I know they're learning on the job a little bit, but the more good players you've got, obviously, will help the squad in the future.
With ball in hand, previously you've rested Jamie Porter, Sam Cook in the white ball format. Now you're giving them a go. What's changed from last season that you feel they can do a job in the 20 over format?
Last season we had probably 3 weeks preparation and played 4 back-to-back T20s on the back of 6 months off. So we thought it were unrealistic for them to play in them early T20 games and then a championship game in between. So that were purely a well-being thing at the start of last year. But this year, they were both really eager to play. They were disappointed not to play last year. We've done quite a bit of planning in the winter with the bowlers, and we felt to start the competition, both Sam and Jamie were going to be key with a new ball. So that was the plan at the start. They've made a decent start so far, and hopefully they can continue that.
Last season, you had to wait till the visit to Hove to get the first win. What's going to be critical tonight if you're going to beat the Sussex Sharks again?
I think what I said earlier is probably more of the same in the first 2 games, really. Look to take wickets in the first 6 overs, then control the rate, and with the bat, get off to a good start. And I think the feature of teams who do well in this is the top 4-5, someone getting a 70, 80 plus, a match-winning score. So wickets in the top and then someone taking responsibility in that top order. And I think we'll be absolutely fine if we can do that.
I'm hoping your old mate Peter Hartley's going to do us some favours en route.
Never. I don't think that'll happen.
Thanks for your time, Max.
Cheers, thank you.
Welcome back. Good to have your company this evening on the Essex Cricket Stream. Almost ready to go. Time for the Battle of the Sexes. It was the Battle of the Birds last Friday. It's the Battle of the Sexes tonight. Essex against Sussex. Here's our visitors' lineup for this evening. And our team sheet supplied by Rickard Luck in first. 62, Travis Head. Wearing 28, Phil Salt. At 10, he's back, the captain, Luke Wright. Wearing 23, the return of Ravi Papara. Wearing 96, David Visa. At 9, Delray Rawlins. Wearing 8, Chris Jordan. 15 is George Garton. Wearing 18, leggy Will Beer. 41, he's only 16 years old, he's a leggy Archie Lenham. And number 7, Timal Mills. Well, great to see Luke Wright back on the pitch, but the return of 2 Essex old boys, the return of Ravi, first time in front of the Essex fans, and Timal Mills. Good to see them back.
It's always good to see ex-Eagles and Essex players here at the Cloudfm County Ground. Ravi I know well. I was coach of Essex when he made his debut 2002 at Northampton, his first-class match when he was 17 years of age. He always looked a talent. He's always been a talent, played over 100 one-day internationals for his country. We were pretty devastated to lose him to the Sussex Sharks a few years ago, but he makes his own decisions, and it's good to see him back because I have a soft spot for Ravi. Timal Mills has done very well in T20 cricket. It's probably a shame that he couldn't play longer form of the game because he's a wholehearted cricketer. I know he does a lot of media work now, but bowls left arm, bowls quick, got a good variation, and he's done very well. Played a lot in franchise cricket and also represented his country, so it's good to see him here.
Right, well that's the Sharks lineup. Let's take a look at how the Eagles are looking this evening. Our team sheet from Rickard Luckin starts with number 9, the wiki Will Battleman. Wearing 21, it's Tom Wesley. At 19, Michael Pepper. 22 is Paul Walter. The return of number 27, Ryan Tendescarter. At 50, Jimmy Neesham. At 11, the skipper, Simon Harmer. 24 is Aaron Nijar. Number 77, Jack Plum. 16 is Sam Cook. And number 44, Jamie Porter. Well, the one change from that Glamorgan trip, of course, is Ryan Tendescarter. We know what he's done over so many years. So important to see what he can do tonight to help this Eagles side get across the line.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game against the Hampshire Hawks last week. He didn't play to his normal standard, and Ryan's been a brilliant cricketer for us since 2003 in all formats of the game, and especially in this game. He's a match-winning player. He has a wealth of experience, which he can not only bring to the game, but also impart on some of those youngsters like Walter, Pepper, and Buttleman. And he's an important cog in the Essex wheel when we won the county championship, when we won the 2019 Vitality Blast. Although Simon Harmer was captain, he was an experienced player. Yeah. So it's good to see him back. But Essex Eagles have got their work cut out tonight, because I remember us discussing last week, Simon, that we discussed wrist spin. Yeah. And we discussed left arm pace, okay? Well, the Sussex Sharks have got Timal Mills, they've got George Garton, 2 left arm bowlers, and they've got Will Beer, who's a leg spinner, and Archie Lenham, who's also a leg spinner. Well, yeah, and I know his father, Neil Lenham, and I know his grandfather, Les Lenham. So I know the whole family, and they are really immersed in Sussex cricket, down the year. So. Big day for the young man, playing at this level, such a young lad. But Essex Eagles, they need a win. They've lost 2 on the bounce, and they need to get back on track.
Well, Graham, thank you very much for your time. I hope you've got a smile on your face come the end of play today. Join us after this ad break for the Essex Eagles against the Sussex Sharks. Well, the Eagles began with the Taunton Tussle, then they had the Battle of the Birds when Hampshire arrived here last week. The Cardiff Crunch didn't go quite their way, so let's see how the Battle of the Sexes is going to go this evening. I'm delighted to be joined by Essex opener Nick Brown. Nick, a very good evening to you. Plenty of points to prove from your lot today, you think?
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for having me on, Simon. Always good. Yeah, plenty of points to prove, and you know, we're a strong Essex team, and hopefully we can get the points here today. Must win for us, I feel.
David Visa is going to open play with Will Buttleman. Well, I had a chat with Will Buttleman earlier on. An impressive young man. It just seems so easy, seems to fit into the group, into the way of life.
Yeah, he's such a fantastic kid, Butters. He's been around the team for a little while now, and you know, he's starting to produce the goods, and he's been fantastic in the second 11, the games that I've played in the T20. And
Visa, Buttleman gets the scoreboard underway at the second time of asking.
And I feel he just needed the confidence. You know, he played some really nice innings in the second 11. He scored 100 against Hampshire off 60 balls, a couple of good 50s against Middlesex, and yeah, the confidence is there now. So he's got a real good opportunity to show people what he can do.
Well, he's certainly begun to advance, shall we say. Having had that first outing against Hampshire, only got 2 on the board before he was out, but 36 off 26 balls in Cardiff showed a little bit of the talents that's there. Tom Wesley now gets to face his first. David Visa just apologising to his team for drifting down leg side, but no real harm came from it. This Sussex side, I mean, they've just exploded out the blocks. The 2 wins they've had have both been such emphatic performances. Their confidence is going to be sky high right now.
Yeah, definitely, and with Luke Wright coming back into their team's a big bonus.
Wesley tries to open the bat up over to slash over cover point, but doesn't make contact. So dot ball, just 2 from the over so far.
Yeah, I think they're a very experienced team. They've got a lot of just purely white ball cricketers. I think that makes quite a big difference, as they just prepare for white ball rather than having to chop and change through the format. So
Wesley, in fact Buttleman, I beg his pardon, trying to just pull that ramp shot down to fine leg.
that's one of his shots. He gets a bit funky, old Butterman. He can ramp it both ways, which I don't mind him doing that early on.
It's making the most of the power play, isn't it? And I love seeing the confidence of a young man, 21 years of age, preparing to just step out of the norm. Lisa keeping it tight on the line for that last one, and that's a good opening over from the South African. Just 3 on the board. It is, as Graham Gooch was saying in the lead up to this, that Sharks attack is mouth-watering in many ways with the variety that they've got. You know, Luke, he doesn't bowl anymore, does he, Luke Wright? But he's got so many different sort of options, left arm, right arm, leggy. And there's probably an off-spinner in there as well that I can't remember, but there are so many different things that he can do at any given moment just to change the course of a game.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got George Garton coming on now, left arm pace, and then you've got Tamal Mills who can bowl left arm pace as well. And I think they've got all bases covered, actually.
Garton already with 5 wickets from his opening 2 matches in this campaign. Buttleman squeezes it through gully. Yeah, Garton 3 for 19 against Gloucestershire, and then 2 for 11 in that Hampshire match. His economy rate less than 4. For a bowler of his type, that's impressive.
Very impressive, and he's probably bowled in the first 6, and he bowls a death as well, so that's very impressive.
24 years of age, George Garton. Oh, that's a nice shot from Wesley. Just rocked back onto his back hit and was able to pull that through mid-wicket. First boundary
Yeah, brilliant shot from Wesley. I think he's sitting on the short ball there when he was ready to take that over mid-wicket. It was a brilliant shot.
Garton, of course, already represented England at Lions level and very much an all-rounder. Wesley goes for the luxurious off drive, doesn't make contact with it, goes through to keeper Salt. Garton, who in that Gloucester game smashed 46 off 25 balls just to turn things around a bit. 52 for 4 they were at that point, and then with Phil Salt at the other end, Garton took them to victory. Wesley again getting back onto the back foot, but this time can't get it through that cover field. 5 off the over so far.
Yeah, touch unlucky that, I think. Metre or so either side that goes through for 4, and it's looking like a brilliant over. But I believe it's the same wicket as what we played
last
Hampshire
week
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know the boys said it was a little bit slow, so it depends whether it's picked up a little bit of pace or...
Relatively easy pull from Wesley. Visa comes round to field in front of us. Yeah, there's certainly been, well, no rain in the south of England, I don't think. It feels like about 2 or 3 weeks, although I see thunderstorms and showers are forecast for the end of the week.
Yeah, they're on the horizon, I think.
Yeah.
So it just depends whether the wicket's potentially got a bit too dry and it goes a bit slower maybe, and spinners maybe come into it a little bit more.
Battleman. This time's that's a slow, almost a tennis ball bounce up from Garton. Deceived the youngster, I think. And another good opening over from the Sharks. Essex Eagles now 10 without loss. Now the mix is always going to continue, as I said, from Luke Wright, and it's Tamal Mills who's going to get his first run out this evening. As Graham Gooch was alluding to, he has such a chocolate box assortment of types of ball that he can bowl, and of course such experience in this format.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this. He obviously can bowl 90 mile an hour, and he's got his back of the hand slower ball, so it'd be interesting to see what he bowls first up here. I reckon it might be quick and short.
Will Battleman preparing.
Can fall.
In the groove, but he doesn't get it through Bapara's hands.
So yeah, good passage of play here with Tamal bowling, and I feel like he'll go pace on to start with, and then with a bit of a change up.
Let's see what he's got now. Whoa,
Sharp.
Battleman stepping back. That's what he tried to play off Visa earlier on. That is confidence. Classy stuff from Will Battleman.
Brilliant shot. And great knowledge as well, I think, from batters as well sorry, Will Battleman, I should say that.
No, you're allowed. We know you're in Essex.
From Will Battleman to sort of know, okay, he might go pace on again and get inside it. You get a little bit of bat on it with this pace, it's going to go for 4. Great shot.
What's the response going to be from Mills? I mean, everybody seems to know everybody on the circuit, but there's always going to be new ingredients. Battleman being one, Lennon being another. How much prep is actually done on, on the first 2 games that the Sharks have played? Will the Eagles boys have looked at that?
Yeah, I think they would have looked at like Lenham's overs the other day, because he bowled so well. Would he get 3 for 12 or something?
Yeah.
And they would have looked at that and maybe even spoke to a few of the younger lads who might have played against him in second team cricket to see what if they've played against him or not.
They might have had to spoke to some of the schoolboys that have played against him this season and got probably more knowledge than some of the second team players, I would think.
Exactly right.
I think his brother has played second team as well, Scott. And they come from a big cricketing family, don't they? Neil Lennon, who Graham knows well, and his father Les, all Sussex players. And I think Scott's played second 11 also for Sussex.
Oh, brilliant.
Keeping it in the family. He's changing the pace of that one. 5 off the over so far, 1 ball to come.
It must have been close to the wide line, was it? Wesley thinks it's a wide.
Well, he would do, wouldn't he? Mills has done some good stuff behind the mic as well. I've enjoyed listening to him on various outlets. Quite an insight as to what the bowlers are thinking and the psyche between bowler and bat. It's past the outside edge of Tom Wesley, and that's a good comeback. Having gone for 4 that second ball, 3 dots that are followed with the single. So Eagles now 15 without loss. 3 overs of the power play gone. Looked at various power plays through the course of this campaign so far, and Eagles rarely getting above 48, 49. Just important, A, not to lose wickets, but B, to make sure they set that platform.
Yeah.
Garton again.
Well, it's a huge part of the game, the first 6. Oh, great shot.
Nice shot by Bartleman. Seems to just have that extra half second, whatever it is, nanosecond. And that steer, as it was, almost just raced away.
Yeah, again, like with his sort of open blade that he's got, he's able to get it into them strange areas and it seems to fly off. Yeah, great shot that. Brilliant.
Well, we talk about 360 batsmen, don't we, nowadays in T20, and here's another one.
He's definitely it.
Garton goes with the bounce of 6 ball from Buttleman. You put it where you want, George Garton. I'm sending it to the boundary. That was a classic. No, it wasn't a classic shot. It was a modern masterpiece.
That's 360 there. That's a great shot.
Not only to lay a bat on it, but then to lift it over the boundary.
That's a brilliant shot. It wasn't where he wanted it to be either. He wanted that to be sort of on a length or fall. And he's obviously bowled a short one there and he's went with it. It's a brilliant shot.
And he's forcing field changes from Luke Wright and Garton. Just looking now, David Visa is going to come round to a long leg. How far is he going to go round? Yeah, Buttleman is just going to check where these new field placings are. Yeah, Visa, fine leg, long leg?
Yeah, fine. He's very fine there at fine leg, obviously to stop the little laps that Buttleman keeps playing.
Oh, Buttleman says you're not going to get the ball back from over there. It's another 6. 16 off 3 from the Essex opener. And Garton is getting a bit of tap here.
Well, that's a brilliant shot because he's moved the field round so he bowls there and he's donked him over mid-wicket. That's a big hit that as well. Brilliant shot.
All the village cricketers watching this will say, that's cow shot corner, mate. That's not mid-wicket. That's cow shot. Doesn't matter, it still counts. How will Garton come back? Round the wicket now. Buttleman thought that was going to be in the groove as well. 26 now off 15 for the young man.
And that's the power play, isn't it? We were saying it's sort of struggling before this over, and 4 balls later we're back up to the right rate. So it's quite an amazing game how quickly it can turn.
What's an acceptable rate, do you think, nowadays in power play in your first 6?
I think most teams would look to try and go at 10 and over, wouldn't they? Try and get 60 off the first 6.
That's a good start.
I think that's brilliant start.
And not
yeah.
lose wickets,
and
obviously
not losing. You don't want to lose more than 2 wickets. I think if you lose 1, you'll take it.
Wesley just holding back that cover drive. The Pace being taken off by Garton. Last ball coming up of Garton's second over. Wesley's been an observer pretty much throughout this, just facing his 9th ball now. And Wesley goes long. It could be out though. It is out. Wesley goes. Garton gets a wicket right at the end of his second over. And the Eagles are 1 down for 32.
Clever bowling. He had the 2 men out on the leg side and bowled a slower ball, what it looked like, and Wesley's dragged it out to deep mid-wicket. I think he wanted to go a bit straighter than that, but he's ended up having to drag it.
Travis Head, the Australian, was the man in the right place there. So Pepper and Buttleman, 2 wicket keepers once again together. Was there ever any debate between Pepper and Buttleman who was going to keep wicket with both of them in the side, or is it an obvious choice?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I was playing the second team, so I wasn't involved.
It's not rock, paper, scissors or anything. Presumably Mags has said, you get the gloves on.
No, I'm not too sure how they come to that decision in the end. No, they both work very hard in their keeping.
Mills to Pepper. Quick single to get off the mark. Jordan's not going to nab him from there, as good a fielder as he is. And once again, we have the Buttleman-Mills contest. 2 left-arm bowlers, but of course very different types of left-arm bowler.
Yeah, very much so. Now we're finally going back and deep square. They've brought the 3rd man up. So it'd be interesting to see what he looks to bowl here. He might either go short and Buttleman backs away and tries to hit it over 3rd man, or he might go slower ball.
Actually, Lenham, I think, is down at fine leg. Are you ready? Bowling from Mills.
Slower ball. It's well bowled.
You know the experience in a bowler, I mean Garton as well, but Mills in particular, when he knows exactly what's needed in any given scenario. It's not like the panic that used to set in early days from T20.
No, exactly right.
Mills to Buttleman. Oh, and again, just holding off the pace, and Buttleman threw the shot into the covers. And within 4 balls, both Essex Eagles openers are back in the hutch.
I think we're going to see a lot of slower balls here tonight, to be honest with you, Simon. By the looks of this, it looks like pace on might go the distance, and on a used wicket, it looks like there might be a lot of change-ups and slower balls.
Well, just when Buttleman looked like he was finding his gears, much the same as against Glamorgan on Sunday, 36 from 26 on that occasion, 26 from 16 this time round, and the scoreboard suddenly has a very, very different look. So, Paul Walter, we know he has the skill set. He needs to show the application this evening. Gets off the mark with no problem. Looked to be batting so well in that Hampshire game, and then having taken, I think it was Dawson, I think, having taken him for at least double figures, then went for a huge swipe in the last ball of the over, and it all went for nothing. And with Tom Wesley being run out not that long after, it's suddenly dissipated.
Yeah, he was playing really well, and he probably didn't need to take that risk again. I know you're saying T20 keep going for it, but you sometimes need to bat properly as well and take the single when it's there.
Pepper squeezes it through the covers, it runs away towards the boundary for his opening 4 ball. Yeah, it's what Graham was saying on commentary. You've got to be canny. You've got to have the tactics within that says, right, we've got enough off this over, don't risk anything,
exactly.
And then build and build and build again. And you know, it just shows how quickly you pull one brick away from the bottom and suddenly the whole Essex house was tumbling, or on shaky ground at least.
No, exactly right.
Mills. Delicate from Pepper. He's only going to pick up a single. That's a good over from Jamal Mills. 2 overs now, 1 for 12. 1 over left of this power play. Looks like Chris Jordan's going to get his debut this evening. Of course, he's been skippering Sussex in the absence of Luke Wright in their opening 2 games.
Intriguing to see what this wicket's playing like, to be honest, because it's not looked easy when they've taken the pace off, is it? It's sort of gripped in the surface. So,
well, those tennis ball bouncers seem to be almost stopping.
Yeah. So it might not be a necessarily massive score. You know, it might not be a right, let's go get 200. It might be, okay, let's assess it a bit more, and might be slightly less.
Pepper runs the single down. Of course, the left-handed batsman now will force the field change. Chris Jordan, part of that England T20 15-man group that was announced to face Sri Lanka next week in Cardiff, I think. I think it's Sophia Gardens, isn't it, for them? Of course, with the T20 World Cup looming at the end of the year. Jordan picks up the pace to get one past the edge of Walter's bat.
He's been a brilliant one-day cricketer for England, hasn't he? His death bowling's brilliant. His Yorker bowling's obviously what gets him in the team all the time. So he's, he might be tricky a bit later on. Hopefully we have wickets in hand to target them.
Yeah, he's a great death bowler, Chris Jordan. Walter can't get him away again. 2 dot balls in this over so far. 3 balls left in the power play for the Eagles. Mitch Clay just wandering along in front of us. Good to see him back here. Used to see him in a Kent shirt, but just moved along the coast, of course. Jordan again, finding a really good angle, and Walter unable to find anything on that, even with a defensive shot. Jordan's enjoyed playing against Essex in previous games, made his maiden ton indeed at Colchester. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago against Essex. Made his T20 debut when he was wearing Surrey's colours back in 2008. And again, gets it past Walter. 1 ball left in this inaugural Jordan over. Just the 1 run from it.
Yeah, he's bowled a good over. It doesn't look particularly easy, does it? I don't know whether it's, again, just sitting in the wicket or...
I tell you what, it's going to be very interesting to see how the 2 leggies bowl, because normally they want a little bit of bounce, a little bit of pace off it.
Yeah, it looks like Beer's warming up, so he might be bowling the next one.
Wow. That over belonged to Chris Jordan. What a good over. Just 1 run from it. Now, Luke Wright has not thrown the ball to Will Beer. He's thrown the ball to Archie Lenham, I think. Oh, it is Beer, I beg his pardon. They do look very similar. No, Archie Lenham's trotting off 2 in front of the scoreboard. So yeah, you're right. Will Beer now, well, he's double Archie Lenham's age, can you believe? Unbelievable. Beer took a 1 for in that Hampshire game. Mind you, it was some wicket that they needed. It was James Vince, the Hampshire captain. Let's see what field he's got. Going deep on the leg side, as you'd expect here at the Cloudfm County Ground. A relatively short boundary, although this track is pretty much in the middle of proceedings, as much as it can be here. So Will Beer's first ball to Michael Pepper. Easy single, are they going to push for 2? Not when it's Rawlins who's coming in.
Yeah, interesting little passage of play here. With Beer on, how do you play it? Do you try and whack him like they tried to whack Crane the other night, or do you be a little bit more circumspect with losing 2 wickets already?
That's the problem, isn't it? It just halts momentum temporarily, maybe. Flatter ball from Beer. The left-hander has 2 fielders in either side on the drive, right on the leg side and Visa on the off. These men in the V doing the job now.
I think we might get a big shot here.
You think?
Just got a feeling he might try and have a look at him here.
Using that long reach just to negate any turn off the ball to pick up the single. Pepper back on strike. Drifts down leg side. They're going to run a couple, I think.
Wides or?
Well, I'm watching.
Leg buys.
Leg buys. Umpires tonight. Hassan Adnan and Peter Hartley. Mr. Adnan deciding it was got a touch off the pad. Pepper back on the strike. Final ball of the 7th over. Pepper feels he's missed out there, but Beer will be happy with that. Just 4 off his opening over. 2 of those off the bat. 44 for 2. 7 gone. 6.3 is a run rate. Well, it's a start, but it will need some acceleration at some point, obviously.
Yeah, I think they've bowled pretty well, and it's it's hard to tell what this wicket's doing from here, but it does look like it's gripping a little bit and staying in the wicket. So, like I said before, it might not be a 200 wicket, it might be a 150 wicket or even a 140 wicket. So, I think it's up to the guys out there to work out, what a good score is and try and get there.
2 leg spinners now in tandem for the Sharks. Here is Archie Lenham. Took a wicket with his first ball in that Hampshire game. 3 for 14 he ended up with.
He looked very small next to Paul Walter there, didn't he?
Everybody looks very small next to Paul Walter. 6'13" or whatever he is.
Now I'm intrigued to see him bowl here, and
yeah, I think the cricketing world is such a great story. Looking at the googly there, but Pepper read it. Always got a thing for leg spinners. I'll say good evening to Mr. Hobbs. He used to tutor me back in the day. Hope he's well.
Yeah, it's a fantastic art, isn't it? Leg spin. Remember chatting to Bryce McGain once, and he said it's the coolest thing in cricket. Being a leg spinner.
It's what, and again I was talking to Graham about this on Friday, they've become the rock stars of the cricketing world, certainly the T20 world.
Yeah, they have, yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you've got a good leggy on your side, they are tops. You know, you look at Zamps. They go around the world making money for different teams.
Exactly
Good
right.
luck to them. Just singles off every ball so far from young Master Lennon, but he's bowling well. Will Walter try and change that now? 2 balls left of this over.
It's well bowled, slightly flatter, I think, and I think he must have known that Paul wanted to have a bit of a dip it in there. It was one of them pressure balls, you know, fourth ball in, could sort of go either way, either 6 or out, you know, and a bit unfortunate there, Paul. He could have got that in that gap.
Pepper gets down the track to him. Has he got enough on it? Yes, he has. Into the Tom Pearce it goes, 4-6. That's changed the figures slightly for young Archie Lennon. The 50 comes up for the Eagles at the end of the 8th over, half an hour into this matchup. And the half century is up for the home side. Well, Lennon, well, that's one of the things you learn as a leggy. You get hit every now and then. You just have to come back, forget about it, and go for the next ball.
Exactly right. And like I said, the ball before, it's one of them pressure balls that, you know, could go either way in T20, and you know, that's gone over, but any other day that could be caught. But it was a great shot, but again, it's the luck sometimes with T20, isn't it?
So the return of Ravi, the first time, of course, he's played back here at the Cloudfm County Ground in front of Essex fans. He was back here last year with nobody about. Probably quite pleased because he didn't really do anything, but he's been in sparkling form in that game over the weekend. Up against Paul Walter. Old mates, and he puts in the toe crusher onto Walter, and he does well to get the bat away, and it shoots through for 4 down a fine leg.
Yeah, he'd be happy to get a bit of bat on that one.
That was a toe crusher.
Yeah,
it really was. Do the boys keep in touch with him? Is there any text banter that's been flying?
Yeah, no, he's still very close with all the guys. He plays quite a bit of golf with them. Yeah, no, he's still very close with a lot of the guys, and he's a great guy, Rav, and shame he's still not in an Essex shirt anymore, but yeah, we wish him well. He's been playing well so far this year, so hopefully that continues, just not tonight.
He knows all about the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition tonight, no question about that. Made his T20 debut for Essex against Surrey all the way back in 2003, can you believe? 17 years he wore Essex colours. Walter getting a long way forward.
And all our boys will know exactly what Ravi does. You know, he bowls his sort of slippery ball, and then he'll change the pace with his back of the hand balls and his knuckle balls. So I think a lot of them will sort of try and sit on his slower ball, because he tends to bowl that a bit more and try and attack that one. And if he does slide the quicker one through, then find a way to play that one.
Walter just able to work that one down leg side.
I'm surprised they took Beer off there, but they seem to be chopping and changing every over here, don't they?
Well, there is that sort of captaincy thing, isn't there, of never letting a batsman settle, always looking for the variety that will maybe produce something surprising. Pepper gets into the drive. I understand you had a go at captaincy in T20 yesterday?
No, young Aaron Beard done it for us yesterday.
Oh, did he? Okay.
So I've been playing the second team in the T20. It's been really good fun, actually.
Yeah?
I've really enjoyed it, yeah. You know, good to be playing with some of the young lads and get to meet some new guys, some of the academy guys, and it's been really good fun. And no, I'm just I'm not captaining the T20s. I'm going to let the youngsters do that.
Too much of a headache, mate.
Yeah,
Just
it is.
enjoy the cricket. Well, Sussex, I think, are enjoying this so far. 7 off that Papara over, but 62 for 2 after 9 overs. Up to 7 and over at the moment, but Eagles, after the loss of the 2 openers within 4 balls, just looking to settle themselves back in. Archie Lenham is going to continue from the river end to the left-hander, which is not the preferred equation. I beg your pardon, it's Will Beer.
That's well bowled. He got a little Yorker in there.
That's going to curse me right the way through this inning, isn't it? Up the far end.
I feel like this is the big over here. I feel like something could happen. Paulie could have a, yeah.
He's gone for the big one. Stepped out too far and Beer picks up the wicket. An easy stumping for Salt.
Just felt like something was going to happen there. You know, either it was going to try and hit some sixes there, and he's obviously run past that one.
Well, Mystic Meg predicted it, and so it came to pass, and now Tendo is back. Missed that trip to Sophia Gardens. Sophia Gardens, I think they say down there.
Great to have him back playing, isn't it? I know he only missed the 1 game, but a true Essex legend.
Yeah, he is, and that word is used all too frequently nowadays in all sorts of different formats, but for what he's done, his captaincy, what he achieved with turning Essex around in many ways, and the trophies that followed, and of course the trophies that have followed since, you know, T20, Vitality Blast included.
Just the sheer number of games that have been won off his bat, or if it off his ball, is, you know, in all formats he's just won so many games of cricket, and I can't think of too many other cricketers that have won any more games than Tendo.
Yeah, getting a bit more of a loop into that delivery for Tenduscarter. Beer to Pepper, and Pepper trying to judge the single. Normally with Tenduscarter at the other end, you've got more than a good chance of picking up 2s when there's normally 1s, but not on that occasion.
Yeah, I think these two will enjoy batting with each other, both very quick between the wickets, and you certainly got to be on your toes when you bat with Tendo.
Yeah, just ask Tom Wesley.
Yeah.
Simple dab down from the Dutch international. Pepper 18 off 12 so far. Last ball of Beer's second over. That should be enough to pick up 2, even with Papara coming in. Or how Papara would have loved to have hit Tenduscarter's wickets there. I know he went to the other end, but they're old sparring mates of a long, long time.
Yeah, very good mates, them two. But that's what Tendo and Ravi used to do for so long. You know, dab it out to deep mid wicket and come back and run 2. And that's why I think Pepper and Tendo will be so good here. Is hit to the longer side, look to run 2, and score your runs that way with the odd boundary.
So Papara stays on at the Hayes Close end, and he will get his first chance to face his old mucker. Essex now halfway through their innings, 67 on the board. Going to have to find some pressure onto the accelerator pedal before too long, but plenty of time left, of course, in this contest. Tendescarto's learned all about T20 cricket around the world. 15 teams he's played for in the last 11 years or so.
15, is it?
Apparently.
More clubs than Tiger Woods.
Etc, etc. We used to say Jack Nicklaus,
Jack
so that
Nicklaus,
shows
yeah.
different generation, same joke. But
Yeah. 15, yeah. He's played a lot of T20 cricket.
Yeah.
He's in the top 5, isn't he, for the most ever T20 games?
Bopara to Pepper. Gets on the drive, and a little mistake there from Beer. Yeah, admonishing himself for that one. That was Beer and not Lennon.
That was Beer, yeah.
I'm just double checking. You've got to keep me on task here, Nick. Bopara, canny bowling, tying his mate up.
Good bowling there. I think he thinks that Tendo's probably waiting for the slower ball there, and he keeps firing it into his pad. So really clever bowling.
First real bowl that Bopara's had this season. Didn't bowl in the opening game, then had one over against Hampshire that went for 11. Beer pushes it round the post. They're going to get 3 though, I think. An easy 3 as Garton comes round to rescue operations. Pepper, and it's 3 4s and a 6 in that knock of 29 on Sunday. Dot ball to finish the over. 5 off the over from Bopara. 0 for 12 off his 2 so far.
Touch unlucky, that could have gone through the gap. Touch unlucky.
Good to see, I think. Luke Wright is going to stick with Will Beer, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, Will Beer again.
Run rate 6.6 at the moment. A little dab into the leg side, and that's going to be an easy pair for Tendescarter when you know that the leg side fielders are going to be that far back.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. That's classic Tendescarter batting in T20 cricket. Like what Gucci was saying, it's not all about hitting your sixes. It's a mixture. It's touching it in there, not hitting it too hard, so you hit the fielder too quickly and you can't get the 2. He just touches it just on the edge of the 30-yard circle, and he's quick enough to come back for 2, and that's brilliant batting.
Well, it's what we used to play at school called tip and run.
Yeah.
And as soon as you hit it, you had to go, and as long as you put it in the right place, you've got a single or 2, depending on the speed. Pepper brings the sweep out. That's a finely angled shot. Bopara goes for it and pulls it back, but just, unfortunately for him, has to watch it ricochet off the rope. So a much needed boundary from an Eagles perspective.
Yeah, brilliant shot. Good batting by both of them. Again, like I say, it's not all about hitting sixes. It's rotating the strike, getting them 2s, and then you get a boundary in it, and it turns into a big over.
Pepper getting, I thought that was too strong a shot to get the second, but they managed it. And again, in conversation with Mr. Gooch, he was saying if you can pick up 1s and 2s and then the occasional boundary, and suddenly you're in double figures for an over, and you're looking at a different scoreboard.
Exactly right.
Reverse sweep, but straight to the fielder. Final ball of Will Beer's third over. Pepper goes straight and goes long. I think it's a 4 ball, looking at the signal.
4, I reckon. 4, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of boundaries in that Will Beer over. 13 off the over.
Brilliant shot. Is it 4?
I think it was. Yes. Yeah. 1 bounce.
On the monitor there, it looked like it was sailing over. But
Yeah.
I thought my eyes were going then. No, brilliant over. Good batting. And Jordan coming back.
Just bowled the solitary over so far. Chris Jordan, just 1 run from it. Get the feeling Luke Wright just looking to put a break in here. Just feeling a bit of momentum building between Tenduscarter and Pepper.
Yeah, definitely fantastic last over, and he would want to break this partnership, I feel. And if we can have a half decent over against Jordan here, we're pulling it back, or Essex, I should say, are pulling it back.
No, it's fine. I mean, I think that's everybody accepts that you're part of the Essex group, so why not? As long as you're watching out of 2 eyes.
Biased comments from here. Well bowled, Chris Jordan.
That's the tick, all right. That's your 1 for the over.
Yeah, that's it.
Getting the auction for 100.
Tenduscarter on 9, Pepper on 31. Run rate exactly 7 and over at the moment. Good bowling from Jordan. He is a canny operator, and these two will have matched up against each other many times, maybe in different colours, but they will know exactly what's coming. Still, Tenduscarter couldn't get him away.
Yeah, good bowling. It looks like that sort of top of the pads, inside the thigh sort of height ball looks hard to hit. There again, that sort of inside thigh height ball does look really hard to hit, and whether that's just slightly stopping the surface or gripping and bouncing a touch, that could be the way to go for Essex when they do have a bowl.
Yeah, you hope that Sam Cook, Jamie Porter et al. Are studying this bowling display from Jordan. 8 dot balls so far. This time Tenduscarter pulls it straight to Papara. .50 runs in 8 overs exactly for the Eagles. Took 40 off the power play. Now working their way towards the end of the 13th over. Pepper tries to change the angle, but Jordan just following him. Phil Salt with the gloves on this evening.
Been another brilliant over from Jordan, isn't it?
Yep.
Changed the length, changed the pace, been very unpredictable.
Pepper manages to squeeze a single out of the last ball, but just 2 runs from Jordan's second over. 3 runs in total that he's allowed this evening so far, and that is the break that Luke Wright was looking for, no question about that.
Yeah, you said they wanted to just break the momentum a little bit, and that over's probably done it. With Ravi coming on the other end, we could do with a decent over here.
The last time the Sharks were in town, 20th of September last year, Essex managed 136 is their total, and of course Sussex ran it down, 10 balls to spare, won by 4 wickets. Looks like it's going to be another low scorer here this evening. 7 overs left. Bopara starting his third. Back of the handball, but Pepper slogging his way through it. Carter playing out through leg off the leading edge, picking up the single. Different sort of Sussex attack, of course. No Rashid Khan, the Afghanistan leggy, is not back from PSL duty until the end of this month. Jofra Arch, of course, is out injured in any case. I'm not sure when Chris Jordan is joining up with England. Presumably that won't be too much later on in this week. Pepper goes straight and hard. Didn't look like he completely timed that one.
No, again, Ravi just changing his pace well. I think they'll be looking for a boundary off these last few balls.
Sussex travelling to the Oval on Thursday for their next game before they're back at Hove with Somerset on the Friday. Oh, Tenderscott got a hold of that. Has he? Not enough, though. Bopara's got his man. His old mate has holed out at deep long on, and the 4th wicket for the Eagles is down.
Yeah, he's probably not got all of that, has he, Tendo, and it's gone straight down Chris Jordan's throat.
Looked initially like he had enough on it, but yeah, you can see there falling a couple of metres maybe short of its destination. Well, Jimmy Neesham, let's see what you got, because Essex need the black cap to really unleash something now in these final 6 overs to give them something to bowl against.
Yeah, he started really well, hasn't he, in the games that we've played so far, and hopefully that continues. I haven't seen that. I've been watching on the live stream, and he seems to hit the gaps every time, doesn't he?
Who? Neesham?
Neesham, yeah.
Yeah, he's a classy operator. That 53 against in the Somerset game, he just went, wow.
Yeah, fantastic knock.
There's something in the timing of a classy Test international.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you've seen with Neesham, and you just go, bit different. So Neesham facing his first ball. Both Walter and Tenderscott falling for 11. Now you feel down to Michael Pepper in large part to at least anchor the innings. Neesham gets the call. Visa gets the ball in, but Pepper getting through with plenty of time, and that's a good over from Bopara. Picked up the wicket of his old mate Tenderscott, only gave away 5 runs. 3 overs now, 1 for 17. And if anybody knows how to bowl on this track, I think it's that man Bopara.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Garton coming back into the attack from the Hayes Close end. and Essex can do with a good finish here.
Well, Garton's picked up or seems to have the nous, the awareness to be that if not a death ball bowler, then certainly towards the back end of an innings. 6 overs still to go in this one. 3 for 19 against Gloucester, 2 for 11 against Hampshire. 1 for 24 at the moment off his 2. Garton goes deep. Pepper reaches out, takes it on the full and just slides it to the boundary.
Yeah, lovely shot. Just opened the blade there and got a bit of bat on it to try and fly it over backward point, and if you catch it on the full like that, it flies away. Well, I wouldn't know, but
you've heard.
The youngsters seem to do it, yeah.
Does it feel like that sometimes,
yeah.
the way they play their shots? Even with you, I mean, you're a relatively recent generation, but you see that the natural way that they now play the ramp and the scoop and whatever else.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Pepper's gone straight into the basket of Luke Wright. And just when it looked like Michael Pepper was picking up the pace, oh, he hangs his head. 38 off 24. Another almost but not quite from Michael Pepper. And Essex have lost their 5th wicket.
Oh, he's disappointed with himself there. It was almost there to go as well. He's just not quite gone through with it, I think, and ended up hitting it straight to right at extra cover.
Was that a matter of actually not finishing the shot then, or was it just bad placement?
Yeah, I think he wanted to get it over more mid-off rather than extra cover, and I don't know whether he just slightly quit on the shot. I'd like to see the replay, but it looked like he might have slightly quit on it a bit and didn't quite go through with it.
Garton picks up another wicket, 2 for 28. It's a far better look than it was when he started this 3rd over. Well, Simon Harmer once again called to the wicket before his team have got into the final quarter of their innings. Yeah, Garton's got something about him. There's a bit of street nous and class, and the skills are obviously there, and for me, I can see an international player there just blooming. I think, what did I say, it was 24 or something? Yeah,
he's got the ability to bowl, good pace, and he changes his pace well as well. So, it's a nice action, isn't it? It looks very easy, and tends to be what you look for, isn't it? Pleasing on the eye.
Well, he's had a couple of injury problems. I think one was actually picking up his suitcase at LAX airport, but that's not a normal one, should we say? But hopefully his framework can take the load, so to speak. Harmer still unable to get off the mark. Harmer's been able to get into the teens on each occasion, each match so far. 16 against Somerset, 12 Hampshire and 18 not out against Glamorgan. Final ball of Garton's 3rd over. So just 5 off the over and the wicket of Michael Pepper. 97 for 5 now, the Eagles, as they move into the final quarter of this game. What do you think target is going to be now, Nick?
It hasn't looked easy to score, has it? So, if Essex can get... You'd always want 10 and over from the last 5 overs, but if we can get up to, 140, 145, I think that could be a competitive score. And again, look, we're not out there, but it's not looked particularly easy to hit through the line. So whether it's just gripping in the surface, like we spoke about earlier on, and It's not a classic T20 wicket where you know you're going to get 200 plus. So yeah, if we can get up to 145, I think you know you're in the game there, aren't you?
Okay. We shall watch with interest as Mills comes in to Harmer. Again, you look at the options now for Luke Wright. Jordan's got 2 left, Beers got 1, Garton's got 1, Visa. We only saw Baldy opening over. Lenham unlikely to come back, you would have thought. Papara still with an over if needed. Mills finds the outside edge of Harmer's bat, but the Essex skipper picks up the single. Now, Neesham. I've often wondered how, when you get a class operator like Jimmy Neesham obviously is, how quickly he goes into overdrive. It's, you know, in any other form of the cricket we'd say get in, get your eye in.
Yeah.
But you really, really don't have that luxury in this form of the game.
No, but you know these guys that go around the world and play T20, they're in the situation. Well bowled, good slower ball. They're in these sort of situations all the time. So
sure,
you know these guys can walk out there and hit it at the ground first ball, and that's what makes them so good, and that's why they do pick up all the the T20 contracts around the world. And the way Jimmy started for us, hopefully it continues and keeps playing some exciting cricket.
Top run scorer for the Eagles so far, now with 104. And again, Mills does him.
Very good bowling. The slower ball followed by a full pace ball, and just gone through him a touch there.
Eagles run rate at 6.3 at the moment. I'm sure those statos amongst you will have already worked that one out. Well, Neesham swings and swings hard and picks up a 4. But it was an outside edge that had no control on it, but he won't mind.
It's almost gone for 6.
Yeah, again, this short end at the Hayes close end. Almost reaching there, the century up for the Eagles. 1 ball short, shy of the 16th over.
Just about 2 metres away from going for 6. Thrown the lot at that, isn't he?
If you're going to flash.
Flash hard. What's he going to bowl? A slower ball maybe to finish?
Yeah, Neesham ready for it as well. Try and put the pressure on Archie Lennon, but no, the schoolboy's up to it. Classy. And 103 for 5 now at the turn. 4 overs left for the Eagles. Look, right, just having a chat with Bopara. He's going to put Jordan back in for 2 overs, you would assume.
Yeah.
From this end. Be interesting to see whether Bopara gets 1 from the other end. Garton has still got 1 that he can use. Neesham is facing. Jordan comes around the wicket. Ooh, now Chris Jordan suspected this might come up. That's the wide signal. Phil Salt. Well, what do you make of that?
It looks bewildered, but it's hard to tell how wide that was here. But I think maybe Neesham moved across, did he? And
Hassan Adnan had No doubt about it. Jordan goes wide on the delivery.
Phil Salt's gone for the old Gaza haircut for the Euros, has he? Just noticed that.
Yeah, he's kept his cap or his helmet on throughout, so not really clocked that. Looks like he's got a problem with his hand, Phil Salt. He's taken his glove off.
He's dyed his hair, he's done the Phil Foden.
Are you Phil Foden in disguise? Jordan going through. And again, just tying Harmer up.
So that sort of length doesn't look easy to score off, does it?
No.
Top of the stumps.
No.
Maybe a little bit higher than top of the stumps. It doesn't look easy to score off.
Sussex winning the toss and putting Essex in, though Simon Harmer did say he was going to bat first in any case, so he didn't mind. Harmer slashes it through the covers. Fielded on this near side, just out of my sight line. But, a couple for the Essex captain. A rare delivery from Jordan that gives that width. Jordan doing Harmer with that. Well, do you call that a bouncer? It seemed to be so slow. It undid him on the timing, didn't it? Almost rather than
it's almost
anything else.
Yeah, almost second guessed himself. Harmer, I think he thought it was a full pace one, and then it was a slower ball. So well bowled again, very unpredictable. Especially the sort of bowler that you think would bowl Yorkers. He's not gone to them yet, which probably does suggest the wicket's not $1 million. There's the Yorker there.
Comes up with the Yorker and doesn't get the wicket. But you're right, there have been relatively few Yorkers. I remember Papara bowled one to Walter, but I think Garton may have had one or two, but relatively few. Final legal ball of this over for Chris Jordan. 3 runs off it, plus the wide. Again, he mixes it up, picks up the single, and that is quite outstanding bowling from Chris Jordan. 3 overs, 0 for 8.
Brilliant bowling, just like I say, unpredictable. Just taking the pace off with the odd quicker ball. You know, I think that's how you bowl in T20 cricket. And like I say, I don't think it looks easy. I know I'm harking on about the wicket, but just looks like maybe a little bit slow. No one sort of timed it perfectly throughout, have they yet? So be interesting to see when we have a bowl on it, or when Essex has a bowl on it.
Well, you've got Plum, Cook, Porter. Wouldn't surprise me if Paul Walter had a bowl on this. Neesham, of course, as well. Harmer back on strike. George Garton coming around the wicket. Harmer connects. It's a lovely catch. Harmer didn't get the middle of the bat to the ball there, and the wicket goes. I think is it David Visa down there?
Yeah, very good catch. It looked like he was going to get over the top of him for a moment, but yeah, very good catch.
Yeah, the South African stretches out to pull that one in. Garton picks up another wicket. Well, it's just not moving for the Eagles, really, since Pepper was in. Battleman, of course, earlier on as well. Nobody's really been able to find the gears to accelerate this Essex innings. Garton again has a 3-foot. Still got 5 balls left of his 4. $108 for 6 now. Plum, Jimmy Neesham, Plum at the other end, of course. Has Plum got the skill set to become a late innings enforcer, if you will?
Well, he's already hit a few sixes already this tournament, isn't he? And,
yep.
And in the second team I saw at the start of the year, he can clear the rope. So hit the winning 6 at where was that? At Somerset.
Yep.
So yeah, no, he can hit a ball. Got fast hands, and he can strike it.
Here's his first ball, George Garton, in his final over. Luke Wright prowling in the covers, and suddenly you see 3 men in that cover in the offside ring, just putting the pressure on the new man. Jordan Wright, Will Beer just behind point for the left-hander. And again, ball gets past the outside edge, and I don't remember many games where there's been a ball getting past the bat so often in a T20 match.
No, I think you're right. And, no, they've bowled very well, and it'll be interesting to see how we go with the ball.
It's going to be a low score or whatever. 2 overs and 2 balls left. Garton bounces his way past Plum's advance. Three balls now, and Jack Plum still has not been able to get Garton away. Try and push for 2. No. Papara and Wright just making sure that was only going to be a single. George Garton, 4 overs, 3 for 31. Once again, Garton does the business against Essex.
And the problem we got here is Neesham's sort of been starved of the strike the last few overs, and he's only faced the 8 balls, so we need to get him on strike and see what he can do.
Garton took 4 for 21 the last time the Sharks were in town. 3 for 31 this time. And just one of this Sussex artillery that has really been firing the shots through the course of the Eagles innings. Neesham, 2 overs left to make a difference to that tally. Jordan bowling his final over.
Well bowled again. Into the wicket, trying to get him to hit to the bigger boundary towards the pavilion, and Jack Plum looking like he's just kicked up a little bit.
It's that mix wicket, isn't it, with the Deso system or whatever it is that changes things up. Neesham tries to swing through, but it's just going to give his wicket away, almost in desperation. An easy second catch for Head, and Sussex continue to strangle the life out of the Essex Eagles.
Could see what Plum was trying to do there, trying to play a big shot.
Was it Plum or Neesham? I think
Plum.
Oh, no, it was Plum. I beg his pardon.
Could see what he's trying to do there. Trying to play a big shot, and at least now Neesham's on strike.
Yeah, I beg your pardon. I got my left-handers mixed up there. So Neesham's still alive. And facing. Picks up Jordan. I think everybody got unsighted by that. Neesham finding a valuable 4. Nobody seemed to move.
No, just picked up off his toes and deep square, didn't see it either, just stood still.
That far from him. I'm not sure he would have got across to cover it. Neesham goes straight. Oh, almost. That's another 4. Luke Wright thought he had a sniff of an opportunity there. Kiwi had enough direction. Just swerving away from him.
It's another handy boundary off Jordan. Do have a couple more here.
Yep, 2 balls left in this Jordan over. Picks up a single, and Aaron Najjar will get his first ball. Final ball of the 19th over. Neesham will want to be on strike for the last over, you would think. And Najjar has somehow got it away, and that's the best outcome from an Essex perspective. Picks up a 4. Chris Jordan finishes with 1 for 21 from his 4 overs.
Oh, it's well bowled, isn't it? Perfect Yorker, and it just guides it and gets probably a thickish edge to it. It goes for 4. Perfect result.
So 123 for 7 the scoreboard reads. 6 balls left in the Eagles innings. That man is going to bowl them. Former Essex Eagle himself, of course. Started playing his cricket at 14. Left Essex, 7 years ago now, to go to Sussex. We saw that about to happen, and I think Will Beard did as well. You could see it was going to take a left turn at some point in front of him.
I thought that had just done him there.
Right.
Well bowled again from Mills. Slow ball out the back of the hand. Not an easy ball to pick from someone who can bowl 90 mile an hour and change it down to sort of mid-70s. Good ball.
Jar advances down the track a bit, pick up the single and puts Neesham back on strike. Neesham just weighing up the options. If he can lay back on ball, Tamil Mills, you're never quite sure. Yeah, straight through the Kiwi. Well, that is superb bowling from the former Essex man.
That's brilliant bowling, you know. He's bowled him a slower ball out the back of the hand before, and then, you know, the perfect Yorker at decent pace there. So, brilliant bowling.
The first batsman this evening thus far. And the Sussex Sharks attack really have strangled the Eagles, almost suffocated them in many ways with what they've allowed.
Yeah. No, they've bowled very well.
Three balls left for Sam Cook and Aaron Nijjar to concoct something that would push them maybe past 130, 134. Oh, Phil Salt was just waiting for that. Aaron Nijjar running in hope more than expectation.
Yeah, it's always the way now. Always the way nowadays.
Nijjar on the strike. 2 balls left. Here comes Mills. Slower ball. Nijjar swings through it. Richie Lennon does well in front of us just to make sure that his body covered that. With the spin off the left-hander's outside edge.
Yeah, he done well down there actually, because it was just about to spin on the second bounce when he got to him, and he done well there.
Final ball of the Eagles' innings. Sam Cook, the man to face up. And again, Salt sends it down the alley but can't find the stumps, and they pick up another one to finish on 128 for 8. It's a run rate of 6.4 for the Sussex Sharks, 129 the target for the team at the top of the log at the moment, unbeaten. Jamal Mills, 2 for 21. And yet again, we have no Essex batsman gets above 38. It's an issue, but how do you view that innings, Nick, in terms of the target that's been set and what you've seen from the track?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because, like I said earlier on, everyone expects you to get sort of 180, 190, and I don't believe it's probably not a 190 wicket. So, you know, potentially maybe 20 runs shy, but if we can bowl well here, I still see us being in with a shout with the type of bowlers that we've got. You know, we had little bits of momentum there, and you know, probably wickets at the wrong times has hurt us, but you know, I still think we're in with a shout if we bowl well at the top, get a couple of early wickets, get Salt out early and Wright out early, and you never know.
So just to run through the Essex scorecard, Tom Wesley went first for 5, Buttleman 26 off 16 for the young opener, Paul Walter 11, Ryan Tender-Scarter 11, Michael Pepper 38, probably the most impressive of the Essex batsmen this evening. Jimmy Neesham struggled to get anything away, 19 off 13 balls for the Kiwi. Simon Harmel went for 5, Plom went for a single, Nijjar 6 not out, Sam Cook 0 not out. It's 128 for 8, the final score for the Eagles. Join us after the break when Nick and I will discuss further that target set for the Sussex Sharks. Well, welcome back to the Cloudfm County Ground, where Essex Eagles have had their knock, 128 for 8. I'm joined by Essex Eagles opening batsman Nick Brown. Nick, I'm not sure that target is heavy enough, but what do you make of it compared to what you've seen from that track?
Yeah, I think they might be slightly light there. They would say, I reckon there's probably another 20 runs out there. If they could have got to 150, you're in with a real good shout. But 130 is still tough to get. I think the wicket's gripping a little bit, so it's never an easy chase, is it? It's always tough work. So, I feel like we could be in with a shout if we get early wickets.
The two young wicket keepers, Buttleman and Pepper, seem to be the two batsmen that were almost finding their feet in that innings. Michael Pepper in particular seemed to stay a long time. Buttleman produced some one over in particular from Garton, which went for a lot. But again, there's no Essex batsman that's got to 50 or even 60 or above, and that seems to make the difference to the final score.
Yeah, it was probably the wicket of Pepper that hurt us there. He was going along nicely, just getting the momentum after hitting a boundary of the ball before. It could be one to get the single, get down the other end and let someone else have a dip. But he thought the ball was there to go, and so he went for it, and that was the wicket that probably hurt us the most. But look, we've got 130. You've got to play with it, and hopefully we can get early poles, like early wickets, like I say, and we can try and get a win.
When you look at a Sussex Sharks attack like it is, 2 from 2 obviously in the campaign thus far. You've got Chris Jordan, you've got Jamal Mills, you've got 2 leg spinners. There's such variety. Garton, who is turning into a pretty special T20 bowler. They bowled just right for the conditions.
Yeah, I think they read it quite well. Obviously a fantastic attack, and I think they read the conditions quite well. They took pace off the ball. They wasn't predictable. And yeah, like I say, I think it's a fantastic attack. So if we can learn from what they've just done, hit the top of the stumps, change our pace, then I believe we can win.
Critical factor may well be a man called Salt. Phil Salt, who's been in such superb form. He hasn't even got an average yet because nobody's got him out in the opening 2 innings. He's got 149 runs, mind you, in that time. So early wickets, we've talked about if you get 3 wickets in the power play, you feel you're in a good position. That may be a lot to ask against this confident Sussex side. But an early strike, at least, is what the Eagles' attackers got to find.
Yeah, definitely. Early wickets, a good first power play. Get Salt out, get Wright out, and then they're up against it and push that run rate up, and strange things happen. People hit the ball up in the air, silly shots, and you never know.
Well, you never know. It's going to be a really tough task for this Eagles side. It is going to be a real push if they're going to find this second victory in 4 matches in this campaign thus far. Yes, it's very early days and there's still another 10 games to go after this match, but it's what the Vitality Blast is about. It's always an interesting campaign, and it could be a very interesting second innings. Join us after the break for the Sussex Sharks innings. Welcome back to the Cloudfm County Ground. Eagles have set a target of 129 for the Sharks. Luke Wright striding out for his first inning of this campaign. Phil Salt there in the background. Well, we know all about him, and it's going to be a real tough test for these opening bowlers. Jamie Porter is going to get first dibs, and this is a change up from Simon Harmer, and I think he's seen what's in the track, because normally it's Aaron Nijar who gets the first over. Porter is going to be bowling from the Hayes Close end. Phil Salt is going to be the man taking the first action. Here we go. Interesting field from Harmer. He himself is in slip. Neesham, well, at a cover point more than a gully, obviously, but on the attack in the fielding as well. Harmer will have wound the team up, get them on the front foot. Salt goes for the baseball hit. Nijar with the throw.
Yeah, as you say, Nijar normally has been bowling the first over, so they must have seen something in the wicket that, you know, it's a bit too paced maybe, or bouncing a touch more. Like that one looked like it bounced a touch more and got onto Salt a bit quicker than he thought. So good move by Harmer. He's got a slip in. He's trying to be aggressive to take wickets, and
yep.
You know, if we can get a couple of early wickets here and put him on the back foot, drive that required rate up, and funny things happen.
With these two in particular, you know you've got to take wickets, because these are two of the most feared batters, I would suggest, in the Vitality Blast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
It's a well-known duo, Wright and Salt. Much as we haven't seen anything of the Sussex captain this season, Phil Salt has certainly been in astounding form, really. 77 not out against Gloucester, 72 not out against Hampshire. Sixes and fours are plenty, of course. Strike rate over 157. Oh, Wright puts it through. And that's a special score for Luke Wright. That takes him past 8,000 runs in domestic T20 in his 303rd inning, averaging over 29. And that just shows something about Luke Wright's durability, class and quality.
Yeah, that's a lot of runs, isn't it? 8,000 runs. But he's been brilliant for Sussex and England.
Well, he came in, of course, to replace Freddie Flintoff back in 2009, and there's another full ball being put through the covers.
That's a fantastic shot. He's not tried to hit this too hard, he's just hit the middle of the bat, found the gap, and it's flown away.
$8,000 runs.
That's a lot of runs.
It's amazing, isn't it? When you think what T20 is.
Yeah.
Porter trying to get some sort of comeback. 9 runs off his first over. Yeah, be interesting to see how Harmer operates from the river end. It looks like Sam Cook is going to be straight into the attack. Or is it Aaron Nijar? No, it's Sam Cook. Harmer, of course, normally holds himself back beyond the power play, but he really cannot afford to let Sussex get into, let's say, 10 runs and over and end the power play at 60, however many wickets are down.
Yeah.
That's halfway there.
Yeah, exactly right. We're desperate for a good power play here, and Sam Cook's been bowling brilliantly this year. He's been excellent in this T20 so far.
Yeah, 6 for 66 starting this game from Sam Cook. A couple there for Salt. Born in North Wales, but brought up in Barbados.
Salt was?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. 24 years of age now. One of those names you were looking for in the England T20 squad because he's done such dynamic work in domestic T20. Still hasn't quite made the breakthrough. Sam Cooke with a good comeback ball. That was a bit tasty.
That's the length, I think. The sort of top of the stumps there looks really, really hard to see, and you can sort of see Salt there saying it's just bounced a bit on me. So I think if you can hit that length, it doesn't look easy to score.
Sam Cooke with this debonair moustache thing going on now on his upper lip. Forcing Salt into the defensive line, scampering through for the single. Yeah, very impressive bowler. Sam Cooke, leading wicket taker so far in this tournament for the Eagles. 3 for 14 he started with at Taunton. 2 for 21 the last home game here, and then 1 for 31 against Glamorgan. Chelmsford born and bred, of course.
Yeah, he's been brilliant in this. He's been brilliant in the 4-day stuff as well for a few years now, and it's great to see him do well because he's a fantastic lad, and he gives everything for Essex.
Right, pulls him round. Plum does well to make sure that ball was not going to get past him. Yeah, it was what I was talking to Mags about earlier on, that last season, and I know it was a different schedule and everything, which is what he explained, but we didn't really see Sam Cooke or Jamie Porter in bowling in T20. This season, I think they've played every match, haven't they?
Yeah.
And learning, it appears, far more of the tricks of the trade of the T20 game.
Definitely.
Dot ball, Nation. Well, I'm not sure whether Luke Wright had given that up or whether he was confident that he would be in. Nation is down on his knees. Can't believe that he didn't hit the target there. Yeah, that far.
I think there's a bit of a yes-no there from Salt. He said it straight to Neesham, and probably expect him to hit, having 3 stumps to aim at.
So 4 runs off Sam Cooke's first over, 13 without loss for the Sharks.
Good over. Very good over. He's been unpredictable this year, Sam, I think. He's changed his pace well, he's changed his length well. And that's pretty much, for me, that is what bowling in T20 cricket is being unpredictable to what the batsman feels like you're going to do.
Change and change again from Captain Harmer. Jack Plum coming straight into the attack now. Plum is still a youngster at 22. 7 wickets last season in the handful of games that he played. 2 for 51 in that Taunton game with that horror over that went for 33 and did very well to come back and take effectively 2 for 18 afterwards. Nation on his toes.
And he's one of them bowlers, he's got sort of an awkward action, you know. When you face him in the nets, you always... He's got the ability to swing the ball late, and yeah, he's just awkward to sort of line up as Jack. So
Luke Wright's trying now and unable to get the ball away. Battleman coming through but missing the target. Salt got the dive out. That's how close it was.
they're the sort of things that you want to go your way. You know, you hit the stumps there or the one before, and you know, one of their best players are out. So hopefully we get another opportunity soon. But good start from Jack Plum.
Salt gets his timing completely mixed up there as Plum takes the pace off. Hassan Adnan, along with Peter Hartley, the umpires this evening. Hartley, of course, a former teammate of a certain Anthony McGrath.
Yeah.
Back in the Yorkshire days. Although Mags tells me he supports Chelsea, so they don't keep in touch much. I don't know who Mags supports, but
He's a big Man United fan.
oh, is he? Well, that would be why then.
Yeah.
Right, tries to get the long handle going. Yeah, that's where I wanted it to go, but Plum managing to change the angle, I think, as much as anything. It's not been a bad over thus far. Harmer now coming out of slip. Still in the power play, so they've got to keep catchers in position. Right, puts it straight to his opposite skipper.
And good bowling again. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
you.
no,
Good
no.
bowling again, and good bit of backing up from Tendescata there.
And you would think with just 3 off this over, Salt will be looking to go big on this.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around for too long, does he, Salt?
Had his sighters.
And well bowled again. Bowler's end.
All right, it's gone down the track. Harmer misses the target though. Well, the Eagles cannot afford to give up these opportunities. There's been 2 run-outs, if not 3, and Simon Harmer knows that was a big opportunity spurned. 16 without loss, the Sharks halfway through the power play. Essex bowlers have been up to the task of mixing things up. But at the moment, the fielders have not been able to take the opportunities that they've been given.
Yeah, a fantastic over from Jack Plum. And you'd expect Harmer to hit from there. He's such a brilliant fielder and he's a good thrower, very accurate. You'd expect him to hit from there.
All right, just sat back in the saddle on that one and just went full ball. Sam Cook, who's bowled that first over so well, gives up a boundary at the beginning of his second. And of course, in a tight game like this one is, that's just takes the gloss off the effort thus far. Now, what's he got to come back with? Harmer's pulling himself into mid-wicket. Oh, that's good fielding. Tendescata still got it.
Brilliant bit of fielding that.
Well, you'd never know he was 62, would you? It doesn't turn 41 till the end of the month. And yeah, I can still do it, boys. Look at this.
Brilliant bit of fielding.
Great fielding from Ryan Tendescata. Oh. Has he got that one? Yes, he has. Now, I think it's a no ball. I think it's gone through on the full, and I think it's a no ball. It is. Peter Hartley has his hand out. And Phil Salt has got away with one there.
I think Sam Cook's slightly unlucky here. It looked like it was a full toss and it was dipping below waist high there, but he's called a no ball and that's a free hit.
Well, to put salt in the wound, so to speak, it's going to be a free hit. Simon Harmer just trying to settle things down with Peter Hartley. I don't know what was said out there. It looked Essex inevitably unhappy with that decision. Shake of the head from Sam Cook. Now he's got to be careful now. This is dangerous with Luke Wright ready to wind it up at the other end. Oh, he does well. Bent his back on that one, didn't he?
He wasn't holding back.
That was with a vengeance.
But good dot ball. Yeah, I feel he was slightly unlucky there. I'd like to see that again, but the Essex fielder's not particularly happy there.
Well, Wright's got hold of that one, and that's gone straight over for 4.
Brilliant shot from Luke Wright, and we've seen this so many times, haven't we? If you over pitch to him and almost put it on his tee, he'll whack you straight back over your head.
Yeah, been there, seen it, done it. Got most of the T-shirts, Luke Wright, in various shades, probably various sizes now. He's still looking in fine fettle. Had this problem with the split webbing in his hand, kept him out of action. Two balls still to come in this Sam Cook over, I think. Right, hooks it straight to Jack Plum for the single. It's 13 off the over so far. One ball still to come. Harmer going back at deep mid-wicket now. Forcing Salt into the hook, but he's up to it. Of course he is. The 4-ball finishes a very, very disappointing over from the Eagles. They thought they had their man. It was disallowed for a full toss coming through on the full above waist height, and then Wright and Salt adding a little more pain to that outcome. 33 now off 4 overs. Jack Plum going to continue from the Hayes close end. Body language just a little bit deflated after that over.
Yeah, I think that's sort of kicked the stuffing out of him a little bit, you know. Sort of when you feel like you have a wicket and a player like Salt, and they give a free hit, it's one of them, and they played a couple of nice shots after that to really rub salt in the wound, and Jack Plum's come back with a nice dot ball there though, and hopefully a little bit of luck will go our way in a minute. Will go Essex's way. But he's bowled nicely here, Plum. He's changed his pace well.
Right, goes down the wicket. Fielding mistake. Rectified by, is that Wesley down there?
Wesley, yeah.
Club captain, angry with himself to let that one through. A couple for Luke Wright, moves on to 23 now off his 16. Phil Salt relatively quiet at the moment, just 9 for him. Wright goes long and takes the maximum. 6 ball for the Sussex captain, and the Sharks now racing along 9 and over.
Yeah, another good shot. Like we said last over, if you go slightly full to Luke Wright, he will hit you back over your head, and he's done so. Brilliant shot.
How will Plum react to that? Goes short, Wright hooks. Pepper does well, but has he stopped it? No. It's another 4, it's another boundary. And the Sharks building up a head of steam inside this power play. 12 off this over, and still 2 balls left.
third man coming up and the deep mid-wicket going out suggests either a short ball or slower ball into the wicket. Slower ball or fielded.
13 off the over, and albeit in the power play, it's really runs that the Eagles can ill afford. The Sharks have got their foot on the accelerator already. Phil Salt's not even in double figures yet. Delicate dab from Salt. Another boundary.
I think that was unlucky.
32 off the last 2 overs. 50 up now for the visitors. Off 30 balls.
He's done well to get that fine. I think you're right. He did run it down there.
Yeah.
I thought he nicked it.
Nah. Delicate, wasn't it? That late cut. Just opening the blade. That's what Ravi does so well, doesn't it? How many times have we seen him play that shot? Yeah. Using the pace of the ball. Well, Sussex in total control. Their bowlers set this position up with some very accurate mixed bowling that changed the pace and the line and really didn't allow the batsman to find any sort of rhythm. Well, now their own batters have showing how it's done. Right, 34 off 19, facing Aaron Nijat. Right, down the track, and Paul Walter, well, there is no room for mistakes now in this Essex performance, and Paul Walter trudging back to pick the ball up as the wind is only blowing one direction at the moment. Oh, Sam Cook doing really well to get his body behind that. That was an awkward ball.
Yeah, brilliant bit of field, and it's so hard at that short, fine leg, sort of backward a square there to when someone sweeps.
Whether you go forward or go back, where it's going to bounce and how it's going to bounce. Opportunity for a run out here. Has Salt gone? No, he's gone. Salt has gone, the finger has gone up, and the run out finally happens. The Eagles have had to wait 32 balls for it, but Phil Salt is going to have to disappear. A rare mistake for the opener, the first time that he's been dismissed in this Vitality Blast campaign.
Yeah, poor bit of cricket from Luke Wright there. He's apologised to Salt as he walked off there. He's hit it straight at Tenderscarter and run, and good bit of fielding and good mopping up from Butterman. But good breakthrough. Good breakthrough for Essex, and this is Travis Head walking out.
Yep, Australian, who's been opening in the absence of Luke Wright, now drops a place with the return of his skipper. So the Eagles do claim a scalp, but it's at a cost. 54 runs on the board. And we're still not at the end of the power play yet. Head, of course, left-hander. Dot ball to start with. Oh, Head finds the hole in this. Well, I was going to say ring of steel, but it's hardly a ring of steel at 58 for 1.
Yeah, good shot, good footwork to get back to this and free his hands to slash it through the offside.
Right. That's the end of the power play with 58 on the board. The Sharks very much in control of the outcome of this game. It can only be wickets now for the Eagles if they're going to have any say in this match. Simon Harmer's going to bring himself on. He needs to produce something now for his team. People watching this, Nick, will be wondering whether it's the batsmen that have found an immediate rhythm or whether it's the bowlers that are not finding the right pace, the right variety. What have you made of that power play?
I know it sounds silly, but I thought we actually done okay, barring a few, you know, over-pitched balls that either got driven or Luke Wright's hit over their head. And I think in between that, the dot ball count was probably quite high. And, you know, if we took a couple of our chances with the run-outs, it might have gone differently.
There were 3-4 run-out opportunities before Tendusgarter took Salt's wicket, and then you had the catch. I guess Salt disallowed catch for the no ball, which, you know, looked like it was a no ball. I know we didn't see any replays of it, but came through at chest height on the full. Tendusgarter alert on the leg side.
So if we can just pick up a few more wickets here and try and put the brakes on a little bit through this middle period, you know, strange things can happen. It does look like it's just gripped a little bit there for Harmer. If anyone can spin it, he can. So that's our hope. Squeeze with him in the jar.
Travis Head going to face the off spinner for the first time. 2 against Gloucester and 23 against Hampshire. Not really showing the class of the Australian. Gets an outside edge to that one. Good work. Is that Sam Cook down there? I think it is.
Yeah, Sam Cook again, yeah.
Committed, throwing his body on the line for the Eagles. Right, back on strike. 41 of 25. Has that capacity to just rock back, doesn't he? Seems to find the perfect angle, and the weight is always there to get the pull away or to get the cut away. Quickly lines up what the ball is.
Yeah, I think he reads length really well.
Yeah.
And like you say, has got the ability to rock back and still pull the ball.
So the first Harmer over is done. 6 runs off those 6 balls. Looks like Jimmy Neesham is going to get his first over. Try and find a bit of magic from somewhere, because there's a certain inevitability to this match at the moment. Only 7 overs in, but with the Sharks having run over 9 and over so far, and they're halfway to their target. Neesham bowling to Travis Head. Tendusgarter looks like he's put new batteries in that brief absence. Certainly buzzing about in the covers.
Yeah, he's been good. He's made a couple of good stops and got the run out. Now, if we can take a couple of wickets here, you never know. put the pressure on, and
It's Luke Wright that they need out. Presumably Vapara next man in. Nisham yet to take a wicket for the Eagles. Only had 1 over against Hampshire and 2 against Glamorgan. 3, I think, in that first game against Somerset. Not for 39 he went for. Again, Luke Wright gets the full length of the bat through on that square cut, doesn't he? He really seems to make sure that it gets maximum benefit.
yeah, he stays in the shot very well. And I see what Neesham's trying to do, change his pace, which is the right thing to do, but looks all a little bit easy, doesn't it, at the moment?
No pressure on the Sussex bats, that's for sure.
Well, odd.
Nation gets a dot ball.
It's that length there that looks quite difficult to score off, sort of top of the stumps. Just sort of either jumps at you or sits in the wicket a little bit. And it does look tricky.
Really gets that one through, Nation. That was bent the back a bit on that one. 1 ball left. Buttleman just taking a half-yard back. Doesn't matter how thick those gloves are, he felt that one.
He just scratched his mark back a bit there, didn't he? That was good pace. I feel like the Essex fans will like Neesham.
Yeah, he has that capacity and the character as well. Dab down for the single from head. So just 3 runs from Neesham's opening over. Good over, but it's wickets that the Eagles need right now. Harmer's going to keep himself on, and he's going to need to. He's going to have to find something for his team. Otherwise, this game is going to be over almost before it started. That's the feel, isn't it? Once you get through that power play, and it's, you know, it's what did they have after the power play? 58. Just that 1 loss. Tendusgarter unable to get across to cut that one off. Tendusgarter got his cap, I understand, for 150 championship appearances, and I gather you were the recipient of one as well, along with Mr. Cook.
Yeah, myself and Alistair got our 100th cap for Essex in first-class cricket, which...
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, which was really nice. You know, our families were down for the day, and it was, really nice day. And yeah, very proud to be able to have said that I've played 100 games. And
rightly so.
Tendo and Tom Wesley got their 150th first-class game for Essex, so it was nice for them as well. So,
yeah. Especially with all the absence that the families have had to put up with over the last 2 years, where they haven't been 18 months, whatever it is. Yeah, good. Well, well done. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Should be proud. Harmer to right. Good fielding.
Tendo, he's been brilliant today in the field.
The rubber ball that is Tendusgarter.
What age do you get to when people start calling you evergreen?
I don't know. He's at it, whatever it is.
He's at it,
I mean,
he's just
think,
old now, is he?
Well, he's not old though, is he? I mean, you look at that and you just think
it's incredible, isn't it?
It's outstanding.
He is incredible. I didn't move that well when I was 21.
I say nothing. He's lower to the ground than you are. Harmer, 1 ball left of that second over, and understandably there's a certain despondency within the Eagles ranks. It's just not happening for them tonight. And I saw Wright come in. 5 runs off the over. Right now 46 not out, head into double figures just. 72 for 1, the visitors. And heading towards victory, you would think, without a sizable change of the atmosphere in many ways, let alone the scorecard.
Yeah, it's looking that way at the moment. But as I keep saying, a couple of wickets.
Yeah,
and,
oh, absolutely.
You know,
that's what we've seen in this campaign, in this tournament, isn't it? In T20, things change so quickly.
So quickly, you're never out of it, and people make mistakes, and it's a good shot and it's a good stop from Wesley.
No pressure on the Sussex batsman to try and make a 2 from a single. So just need 5 singles and over, if that's how long it takes. Be surprised if it did, with the way Luke Wright's going, hitting at 148. Nation drops short again. Essex have the visit of Gloucestershire here on Friday. Neesham with his 3rd ball, again dropping short. This time head puts it wider. Plum's not going to get that. It's a boundary for the Australian. Sussex now 50 behind their total. Time and wickets, should they require them. Good stop from Harmer. I beg pardon, it's Wesley. I saw the 1 and I presumed it was number 11. It's not, it's number 21.
Brilliant stop from Wesley there. And they're going about this run chase very well, aren't they?
Well, it's controlled, isn't it? They've got what they needed to out of the power play. And with a relatively small target, as that one scoots through for another boundary. With a relatively small target, it's then about game management. And you've got 2 experienced operators like Wright and Head, and of course Phil Salt just before. Been there, seen it, done it, and they know what's needed, and they're doing it.
No, they're not taking any undue risks and taking the singles when they're gifted to them and picking up the odd boundary. So they're playing very well.
Neesham changes the angle, goes around the wicket. Wesley gets the long barrier down in place. 82 for 1 now, 10 off that Neesham over. Harmer has got to keep himself on. He has no real option now. We're only halfway through the allotted 20 overs. And the Sharks are well over halfway towards their target. Luke Wright, 3 needed for his 50. Gets it on the full and slams it through extra cover, and nobody's going to get there. And that's a half century for the Sussex captain on his return from injury. 33 balls, 7 fours and a 6. making up that 51 runs now.
Yeah, a fantastic knock from Luke Wright. It looks like he wants to keep going as well and try and finish this game quickly. Some brilliant shots from him there.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that's the classy operator that we know and we've seen for so many years. 16 years he's been at Sussex. Head goes straight down the track and puts Harmer into the side screen at this near end for a 6. And you just feel now that Sussex Sharks are trying to put Essex out of their misery as quickly as possible. The way that they're putting the ball over the boundary. 11 runs off this half and over so far. Change of field now. Nation just trying to keep his new teammates going. It's been a tough initiation for the Black Cap. Right, goes long again. It's another maximum. Yeah. Second 6 brings up the century for the Sharks. 65 balls is all it's taken. 40 minutes of controlled mayhem. It hasn't been untoward, should we say?
No, definitely not. And you know, it's a great shot as well to the smaller side into the Hayes close end. It's probably only about 60 metres, I believe, and you know, it's a miss hit from Luke Wright, still going over there.
Yep. He moves on to 58 now. Harmer again goes through on the full and again is deposited to the boundary, this time for 4. Well, that's a tough over for Essex. It's a tough over for the Essex captain. 22 off it, brings up the 50 partnership between Wright and Head. 33 balls is all it's taken. And it's only just now a matter of time. 25 runs left. 11 overs gone. Nija to Head, trying to squeeze it through with Sam Cook in the right place this time. I've always thought this is the worst part of playing cricket, when you're in the field and you know that the game is gone. It's so, you know, there's nothing really you can do about it now. But you've got to keep going and you've got to keep putting it in, etc., etc.
Yeah, but it's optimistic from here. But you know, most games you never really know, do you? Especially in 2020.
No.
Obviously, from this position now, it's a big ask, but. I always feel you never know in cricket. You get a wicket and like you said earlier on, you take one brick away and the lot can fall. And
sure.
And that's what's great about cricket, in my eyes, is it's never over. But it's certainly a tough ask from here.
Yeah, 22 runs left for Luke Wright and co to get.
He's played fantastic here, Luke Wright, and the way Head's played, aggressive as well, but clever about his batting, you know, cutting off the stumps, quick feet, impressive.
Jamie Porter coming round into mid-wicket. Nijar yet to take a wicket in this tournament. Wright swings lustily and sends it out towards the pavilion for another 6. Came down the track, and for a moment I wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to make contact, and there was a stumping option, but it never got past that big blade.
Yeah, nowhere near the pitch of the ball there, and just swung through it and managed to get enough of it for 6. But actually quite well bowled by Nidja. I know he's gone for 6 there, but he's taken all the pace out of it into the middle of the wicket, and Wright was good enough to keep his head down on it and hit through.
15 left. Jog and head steps back and whacks it straight to the fielder. Well, Najjar at least has got a wicket in this T20 campaign. May not have been the best ball he's bowled, but he'll take it. Jimmy Neesham just steps back and accepts the gift. It's won't make any difference at all. Well, here's an incongruous request, I realise it, but as you know, we have a Woodland Group Eagle of the match. And Nick, it's your difficult pleasure, shall I say, to make that call. Have you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'll have to give it to Michael Pepper for his knock in the first innings. I thought he played really well. Did he get 38?
Yeah. Just looking back on my notes.
Yeah,
Yeah, 38 off 25.
I thought he played really well. He was probably the big wicket. If he had gone on and got a half decent score like Wright has here, it might have been a different game. But yeah, I thought he played really nicely.
Okay, Michael Pepper will get that Woodland Group Eagle of the Match award after the game. Hopefully we'll get to have a chat with him as well, which I don't think will be too much longer coming as Jamie Porter comes back into the attack and Wright whips him off his legs to take him to 72, a strike rate of 182. That gives you a fair indicator of how dominant the Sussex skip has been.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, hasn't he? He's been brilliant tonight. Anything slightly full, he's hit over the top or hit through the covers early on, and you know, I can't imagine there's too many dot balls in there. He's rotated the strike well.
Ravi Bopara back at Chelmsford. Hasn't got much to do, it has to be said, but he will take some enjoyment, no doubt, from just applying the coup de grace to his old teammates. Certainly was in fine form in that last match against Hampshire. 56 not out of 42 balls, and really did look stunning in some of the drives. That cover drive as he pushing Simon Harmer to see if there was any opportunity there. Bopara just leading with that left arm. Put on 118 with full salt. I think it was off about 74. His first half century for his new team.
Yeah, some of the shots in that innings were brilliant. I think he hit a few over extra cover.
Yeah, it was just that high left elbow, wasn't it?
That fly off and
Look right, smacking it through. Neesham does well. Good fielding.
he also hit a 6, I saw, that went absolutely miles. And
Yeah,
I saw on the replays.
effortlessly.
Yeah.
Hardly seemed, it was all about timing, wasn't it? 10 needed. Porter with his 5th ball of the over. Bopara swings through. Najjar cuts it off. Delightful clip off his legs from Luke Wright. It's not going to get the boundary. Neesham's around to pick it up, but it just shows a man in sublime form, Luke Wright. You wouldn't know this was his first run out of the season, would you?
Not at all, no. He's been in fine form here. He's whacked it to all parts, isn't he? He's hardly mistimed the ball, and he's won the game for Sussex here.
7 overs left. Not they're going to need it. Jar to Bapara. 122 for 2. It has been a walk in the park for the Sussex Sharks. They've shown so much confidence, outstanding displays in their opening 3 games now. Surely they're going to be one of the favourites working towards those quarter-finals.
Yeah, I think so. I think that their bowling attacks, like we spoke about earlier on, is brilliant. You've got great deft bowlers and good spinners there, and look, with their opening partnership of Salt and Wright is very powerful, with Ravi coming in the middle, and I'm not sure how long Head's.
All right, got top edge. Buttleman's underneath it. He's going to take the catch. 75 off 43 for Luke Wright, and that is a very, very impressive performance, leading his team from the front.
Yeah, a fantastic knock from Luke Wright there.
Looking for that big finish 6.
And as I was saying, you know, I'm not sure how long they've got Head for, but if they have him for most of the tournament, then you know they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Well, they're not. It's not going to be any easier, is it? Because, well, they haven't got Jofra at the moment, we know, but Rashid Khan is going to be back June 27th. So they'll have yet another leggy, 3 leggies to choose from. Not that, I don't know when Archie Lehman's school holidays finish, but I mean, it's, you know, there's quality spinners there across the board.
Yeah.
For the Sharks. Paparo trots through for another one. Delray Rawlins now is going to be around, you would think, at the end. Only needs 5. This is going to be a big mental scar on this group, you would think, Nick. And, you know, you've only got 3 days before they're going again, which may or may not be a good thing. But psychologically, they've got to just clear their heads. Easier said than done, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. It's a tough loss, and you know the guys will all be very disappointed. But look, that's T20 cricket. That's cricket. You've got to move on pretty quickly.
Rawlins sends it long. It's a 6. It's match over. Essex have lost this one by 7 wickets with 36 balls left. It's a heavy defeat. The Sussex Sharks continue to roll on and on. And look, in fine fettle at the moment. The Eagles have got plenty to sort, plenty to do. Most of it seems to emanate on the scorecard with the batting. Of course, it's easy to say, but not so easy to do. A triumphant return for Ravi Bopara. Once again, comes to Chelmsford and gets the win against his old mates, much as, of course, the Eagles did the job at Hove last season. It's been a tough evening for Essex. It was never going to be enough at 128 for 8. But they knew they had to take early wickets if they were going to give themselves any foothold in this game. It didn't happen. Salt got caught off a no ball. Tenduscarter taking what he thought was Salt's wicket off Cook. In the fourth over that was, and it got worse because the no ball was given, and then Wright and Salt took 15 off the over, and that was where the table was really set. Salt eventually run out by Tenduscarter for 13, 54 for 1, but then Luke Wright, well, he was firmly in control. His 51 came off 33 balls, 75 in the end for the Sussex captain, off 43 balls. And then Papara and Rawlins finishing things off with 6 apiece. Head doing his job in there as well. But it's 3 out of 3 for the Sussex Sharks in the 2021 Vitality Blast. We'll have more thoughts from Nick Brown after this ad break. Well, another disappointing evening here at the Cloudfm County Ground for Essex Eagles fans. It's tough. It's always tough to really take it like that. With 6 overs left, Nick Brown, how do they recover in time for Gloucester on Friday?
Yeah, it's a difficult night, I think, for the boys. Obviously, no one wants that sort of performance, and I do believe the wicket wasn't as good as what. We're probably only 20, 30 runs short, really, I thought. But Luke Wright, I thought, was brilliant, and that happens. It's T20 cricket, and we've got to move forward, got to look to win the next game and try and get back up the table.
No one is looking to apportion blame, but where is the biggest ask? Is it in the batting? Is it in the bowling? How do you see that equation, if you like, at the moment?
Yeah, we probably didn't get off to the best start, did we, in the first 6? Losing 2 wickets probably hasn't helped us there, and we 42 runs, something like that, and you know probably not the start that we wanted on probably a tough wicket. So that's probably a highlight, and probably kicking on in the middle would have helped us. So we had a platform at the end to really give it a go. So I'm not going to blame anyone, but yeah, we're probably 20, 30 runs short, and then a little bit of pressure there at the end might have got us a result. But I thought Luke Wright was brilliant, played great, and if we're taking a couple of them chances at the start with the run-outs, and I'd like to see the no ball back again. But yeah, that's cricket. You've got to bounce back, you've got to dust yourself off and move forward.
Well, it wasn't to be for the Essex Eagles, but we have still got a Woodland Group Eagle of the Match coming right now. So our Woodland Group Eagle Man of the Match, as chosen by your mate Nick Brown, is Michael Pepper. Michael, that was tough to watch. It must have been tough to take out there.
Yeah, it is. Obviously from the start, we just kept batting wise, kept losing wickets at the wrong time. But then trying to defend 128 isn't really going to happen. So yeah, it was tough to be a part of, but yeah.
How tough was it to bat? Because Nick and I were talking in commentary about it didn't seem to be coming through, and Sussex bowlers were bowling very well at you to change the pace, change the angle. How tough was it?
Yeah, it was quite tennis bally. It was actually fairly consistent, so it was never really a danger thing going to get you out. But no, it was fairly tough, especially when it was back at the length, just hard to score. But then saying that, it's 128 to nowhere near.
And against Sussex Sharks, who are so rampant at the moment, it was never going to be enough. But you've got to now reset yourself. You've got another game in 3 days with the visit of Gloucestershire here. It's difficult now, having just come off the pitch to that, but how do you clear your heads? How do you refocus?
I think it's all happened so thick and fast. When the new games come, I'm sure everyone will be happy. All the players seem in a good place. It's just unfortunate the way it played out today. As I said, it was just wickets at the wrong time, so sure we'll bounce back strong and be up for the next game.
Well, commiserations for the loss. Congratulations for the award, Michael Pepper. You are our Woodbury Group Eagle of the match.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers.
So an understandably disappointed Michael Pepper. It's easier said than done, but how do they clear their heads after what is a huge defeat like that?
Yeah, you can see how disappointed he is, can't you? And I thought he played really well. It's a shame he didn't kick on. Like he said, he lost wickets at the wrong time. But you lose games of cricket all the time, and you do just have to, I know it's a cliche, dust yourself off and move on, and find a way to laugh at things, and that's what Mags will be doing now. We'll be going, look, let's go. We've got probably training tomorrow and then another game.
And that's the strength of the group, be it whatever format it is.
And that's it. And that's why we've been such a good team. You've got to dust it off. You've got to move forward. You're going to lose games of cricket. It's just how you bounce back, how you react, what work you put in now to get better, and hopefully we'll win the next one.
Well, Nick Brown, I've been delighted to have your company this evening. Thank you for that. Thank you for your company in joining us. There's no sugarcoating it. It was a heavy defeat. Lose by 7 wickets with 6 overs still left. That kind of says it all. But let's see how they bounce back. Remember 2019? Remember what happened then? Let's hope for more of the same for Friday with the visit of Gloucestershire. From me, Simon Ward, thank you for your company and a very good night.